Hello, welcome to Michelle Sews Again. I'm Michelle. It's Friday, so you know what that means. It's another hashtag Friday Sews. If that sounds interesting to you, then please stay tuned. Okay, so I'm a little bit of a hot mess today because I had to work, and then we've been scrambling, getting ready because we're leaving town tomorrow morning at the crack of dawn to start our drive to Chicago. We're going to Chicago for the whole week to spend it with my siblings and their families, and I'm so excited, but we're driving, so we're taking a few days, and I'm so excited. I get to meet Andra from Andra Makes in person on Sunday. So I'll tell you all about that next week. Anyway, I only have one thing that I have two things that I've made this week, but the first one is for a gift to November. So I'm holding off showing you that until the 28th, which is my day to share my ideas for the challenge. The other thing that I've made, I put a sneak peek out on Instagram, and I have done a test run of making resin buttons. Now, I had done this last year, and I used the UV resin, which is a 1-part resin. It cures with a UV light, the same kind that you use for gel nails, and it cures in like a minute. I decided that I wanted to try the 2-part resin. I mentioned this recently because with the UV resin, your molds have to be clear so that you can get the UV light through on the top and on the bottom, because you have to flip it halfway through. With the part 1, part 2, or 2-part resin, your molds don't have to be clear because they don't require light. They just require heat, not excessive heat, just like above 70 degrees. But they take longer. They're 48 hours to cure. So you set them outside, as long as you're not in a cold climate, which I'm not right now. And you let them sit for 48 hours and then they come out. So I have several different molds. I bought them on Etsy. They were all one big set. And I'll see if you can, I don't know if you can see, like that is a single button. You can see the buttonholes in the middle. That one's a flower. Then I have this set of 4 that are all the same size, but they all have a different texture in them. And those are a bigger button. I haven't measured these, so I'm not sure what size they are. And then there's this mold that has 6 buttons, and they're all the same shape, and they're also a flower. These look like a traditional, what do you call it, 5/8 inch button maybe? I'm not sure, but I'll measure them. But those are the molds that I used, and I used the same resin and the same sprinkles in all of them because I was just testing, and I had a lot of resin. I was just gonna test in one of the molds, but I had so much resin that I just went ahead and did all of them. And so I bought some resin dye, which it's a liquid. It comes in a little bottle, almost like food coloring. I bought a set of those. I bought some crushed glass. It was multicolor crushed glass. I bought some metallic flakes, almost like gold leaf, but I had a rose gold, a gold, and a silver. I think that's it. I've also recently, since I did these, I bought some mica powder, which is beautiful. It gives like a really lovely, it's not a solid color. It's kind of like a shimmery color. And I love the mica powders. So yeah, so I made these, I did the testers. This is the flower one. I put a couple of drops of, the dye that I used was called golden. It's a different color than the yellow. The golden is not quite an ambery color. And I just put a couple of dots. I just wanted a hint of color. And this is the flower. And you can see I used the crushed multicolor glass. And I think that came out cute. Oops. This is one of the larger textured buttons. Came out really nice. Here's another one of those textured buttons. This one's harder to see. And then this one is one of the smaller flower buttons. So the thing that I did different with these flower buttons is I put the crushed glass in the mold before I put the resin. With the other ones, I put the resin in and then I sprinkled the crushed glass after. I think I prefer that method. This one, because the texture is on the top, it's just, it catches. I don't know, it could be cute if you wanted a textured button. I'm not sure. I think I like the look of the smooth resin on top better, but these won't go to waste. Now, I did learn a couple of lessons. So the one thing I didn't do after I poured my resin in, and I wanted to make sure that my molds were full, is I let the resin be kind of thick on top. I think what I will do next time is I will scrape it off so that it's even and the molds are full, but that it's cleaned off on the top, because none of my buttonholes go all the way through, even though I've got the little things in there that stick up that are supposed to create the buttonhole, because I made the resin too thick. Now I have I think it's called a Dremel, so I can probably drill the holes through. These were a test run, so I'm not worried if I can't, but that's probably the major thing that I learned. I will say I was kind of expecting to get some bubbles because I didn't go through the steps. So they tell you that after you pour the resin, you should heat it up with like a hot gun. So I have one for crafts. I wouldn't use a hair dryer. It's gonna blow too much power and mess up the resin, but like a craft heat gun will help the bubbles to calm down. I didn't do that because this was a test run and I didn't get any bubbles. So I'm kind of excited about that. But anyway, I'm super excited. I am gonna have so much fun playing with these. And now that I know, the only thing really that I would do differently is to smooth out the top after I pour the resin in. And I won't put the, anything that I put in the button, I won't put it in first. I'll put resin in first and then that stuff, and then maybe pour a little more resin on top. But for these, the glass kind of fell into the resin. It depends on what you're putting in. Sometimes you need to pour like half of the mold, then put your inserts in and then pour resin on top. These just kind of sunk in. So I didn't have to do it that way. But yeah, I'm gonna be learning a lot. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this, and I can't wait to show you my future adventures. So that's really all I have to talk about as far as makes. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk about is Jen and Madi were talking about, those of us in the sewing community, those of us that do the YouTube, the YouTube, I sound like my grandmother, she was thinking it would be a great idea, especially since it's Thanksgiving week or coming up here in the United States, to create a hashtag called sewgrateful. And the idea behind it is to tell us 5 things that you're grateful for in the sewing community specifically. Tag anyone else who is also doing YouTube or using the hashtag, I should say. And my challenge to you guys that are watching this is to share your own things that you're grateful for from the sewing community in the comment box below. I would love to hear what you guys are grateful for. So here are my 5 things that I am grateful for being a participant in this fabulous community. So my first thing is really like such a big one, is my Sew Sisters. I never expected, when I started this channel, first of all, I never expected to have anybody watching me, but to get to a point where I have made, I'm gonna get emotional now, where I have made such amazing friendships, both online. There's plenty of you that I haven't met yet, but that I know that if I met you in person, I would love you to death. But I have met some in person, and we have our weekly Zoom call, which I don't attend every week because my life has been a little crazy lately. But I can't even imagine anymore doing this without them. So, you know, I've talked about them before. Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room, Carmen from Carmen Salome, Mari from Mari Sews, Heather from Textile Tailored Thoughts, who has kind of fallen off the YouTube space, but she's still one of my sew sisters and I love her to death. And we all had a sewcation together last year, but since that fabulous sewcation, we've also brought into the fold Trish from Pinky's Farm, and I love her to death. And I haven't met her yet, but like I said, I'm meeting her this weekend. Andra from Andra Makes. I can't even begin to tell you all the people that I love. So like, I love all these people so much, and I just feel so grateful that we're all part of this community. And yeah, I love my sew sisters and brother. My number 2 thing that I'm grateful for, sorry, I had to write it down so I didn't forget anything. I am learning so much from all of the other, not only the other YouTubers that I watch all the time, but from the people who watch my videos and comment on my videos. You guys teach me a lot. I get so much fabulous feedback, and it's 99.9% constructive. There's that 0.1% that maybe I'm just misreading, but there's so few and far between that it doesn't even resonate. I'm so thankful that this community is so positive and so uplifting and so supportive of each other. It's just amazing, and I love it. All right, what's number 3? I combined number 2 and number 3. Number 2 was learning so much from other YouTubers. Number 3 was learning so much from those of you that watch my videos. So thank you. Thank you very much. 4th thing is just the fact that the community is so supportive, which I just mentioned. I feel like there's no competition between sewing YouTubers. I feel like everybody supports each other. I love the fact that the majority of sewing YouTubers constantly mention other YouTubers. I had for a little while started mentioning people that I had found. I've fallen off doing that, and I need to pick that back up because I love sharing new YouTubers that are new to me that I haven't heard a lot of people talking about, because there's room for all of us. So I love that support that we have in this community, and it's across the board. I have mentioned on my channel before that before I started my YouTube channel and started sewing again, I've been watching YouTube since I think 2009. I was watching the beauty community because you can't tell from right now, but I am obsessed with makeup and skincare. And I watch the beauty YouTubers all the time, and that is not a very supportive community, I will tell you right now. And they get so much hate in their comments. It's unbelievable. It's just really sad. And that's another reason I love this community, because there's none of that. And my number 5 thing is something that I definitely did not expect when I started my channel. Starting my channel was a little nerve-wracking for me because of my size. The internet can be a really hateful place. Let's face it, we all know that. It doesn't take any courage for somebody to sit behind an anonymous keyboard and just rip somebody to shreds. And I took that risk when I started my channel, knowing that people that are overweight, people that are on the heavier side are ridiculed. They're made fun of. They are judged because, you know, people who don't have a weight problem think that it's just willpower and, you know, you're lazy, which isn't the case. Those of us that have the problem know that. But I took a risk because it was a community that I wanted to participate in. I did not expect to gain confidence in myself by doing this channel, which is exactly what has happened. And that is like such a big number 5, so grateful result of being a part of this community. is I get such positive feedback, and I don't even know how to put it in words, how much it means to me that I'm accepted and supported. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm just happy. I'm just grateful. I don't know what else to say. I'm not very good with the mushy stuff. It's just not my forte. I have always held my emotions in, which is probably part of my problem. But I want you to know I'm very grateful for everything that I just mentioned and for how it has brought joy to my life. Everybody, every single one of you, I love you all, and I hope that you guys all have a fabulous Thanksgiving for those of you that are in the US and are going to be celebrating that this week. And for those of you that are outside of the US, I hope you have a fabulous week too. And even though it's not Thanksgiving in your area, make sure and participate in the So Thankful hashtag. Do it on Instagram if you don't have YouTube. Do it in the comments of every YouTuber that's participating in this, and search for the hashtag in the YouTube search bar and see who else is participating in So Thankful. So that is my Friday sews this week. I am gonna be on the road tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'm probably not gonna do a Friday sews next week because I'll be in Chicago and I won't have done anything other than vacation. So I will see you in 2 weeks. Actually, I'll see you on the 28th, which is the Monday after Thanksgiving, because that is my day to participate in the Gift November challenge. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate each and every one of you, and wherever you are, I hope the weather's amazing. I hope you're able to get some sewing in, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.